Hey pilots, it's AA Ron. I got a big update for you. I don't have long, so this is going to be kind of short. Essentially, a lot of things are changing in the industry right now, and the one key takeaway is that a rising tide lifts all boats. So let's just jump right in. It's been a long time since I've made a post or updated anything, and I understand this is like super informal. I'm literally sitting in the hotel room in Sao Paulo, which is where I have been frequenting for work lately. I sold my house and got rid of my studio, and we've downsized, and we have a lot of things that have changed. But anyways, I decided to create some content. There's some really good things happening right now, and some great things that are about to come down the pipe in the aviation industry. And so I'm gonna hit those couple key items, kind of tell you some things that I see, maybe some anecdotal evidence, maybe some hard evidence, and then everybody from, people that are looking for their dream job currently, maybe at a regional or the military or something like that, trying to make their jump to a major or legacy, what that looks like for them, what it looks like for the flight school guys that are trying to get their first jet job, and also what it looks like for people that are maybe in flight school or considering becoming pilots. So without further ado, I'm gonna jump right in. So the big things that are happening right now, sort of in the macro picture, we have Boeing and Airbus. Their combined efforts are beginning to produce aircraft numbers that we have been wanting to see for the last couple years. And so we, as in, I can say more specifically, my carrier has had a significant order book for Boeings, and those were supposed to come last year, well, the beginning of this year to 2025, but unfortunately that didn't happen because of the Boeing 737 door plug blowout incident, and then the mechanic strike at the end of 2024. Now those things have started to become resolved, and all the airlines got accustomed to Boeing not making its deadlines and its projections, and so now that's happening. And it's not just happening, it's actually happening faster, and Boeing is meeting its demand goals, and it's actually exceeding those targets. And so this is a really, really, really fantastic recovery that Boeing has been able to produce recently due to all of the issues that they've had. So Boeing is putting more planes on the table faster than they thought, and faster than the airlines even predicted by conservative means. And so that being said, my carrier is indicating through a lot of different channels within our airline that hiring is about to really, really ramp up. And I'm going to put this out there, but I want to forewarn and make it clear that I don't have any insider knowledge of anything. This is just anecdotal evidence that is very strong, but it looks like we might actually get pretty close to a record year this year, even though we weren't expected to. But it looks like, because we've gotten so many planes recently, we're expected to do a whole bunch of hiring for the rest of the year that we weren't planning to do at the beginning of the year. And I'm just going to say we probably will end up hiring 20 to 30% more pilots this year than we intended at the beginning of the year. But we're already forecasting for 2025 that 2025 could be a record year. I've heard everything from 2,000 pilots to 2,500 new pilots, 2025. And I've heard some people even say that could actually be more. And if it exceeds, I think the number's 2,473. It might be right at 2,500 flat is our record, but I think there's a possibility next year could be a record year. So why does a rising tide lift all boats? Well, when good things happen with aircraft manufacturers, it doesn't just affect one airline. There are other airlines within the North American airline ecosystem that are also anticipating getting airplanes. And I can just say, I think American's got some planes. Southwest just opened up their hiring for the first time since the door plug blowout issue. I think they haven't hired since the first or second quarter of 2024. And I think Delta just started doing some hiring. But where I'm going with this is that when we hire, other people inevitably start hiring as well, because we're all sort of affected by the same forces within the industry. So if we just say our airline hires 2,500 and American hires 2,000, and between all the other airlines they hire another 1,500, I mean, that's a substantial number, and that creates movement all through the industry. So all the people that are in flight school right now, this is relevant to you because you're probably looking at your CFIs who have well over 1,500 hours of flight time, or maybe the regional guys. We're seeing guys get hired at the legacies with multiple job offers with maybe 3,000 total time, maybe 1,000 hours in the jet, maybe less. But that has since went away, and I think right now, again, anecdotally speaking, I think that our average flight time person that's able to get a job at United is somewhere average in the neighborhood of about 8,000 total hours. So there's a big spread on plus and minus what those hours could be, but much, much, much higher than where we were in 22, 23. However, nothing good or bad lasts forever. So I'm here to say that I'm calling it 2025 and maybe even 2026 is going to be another, not quite as big, but it's going to be another massive wave of hiring like we saw in 22 and 23. Not quite the magnitude. I don't think this is going to be such a knee-jerk reaction within all the airlines in the industry, but it's going to be huge. And once the majors and the legacies start drawing up pilots into the top of this pyramid, we'll call it, they start drawing from the regionals. And when the regionals finally catch up to that and they start spooling up their hiring to account for the lost pilots to the legacies, they're going to start drawing from the corporate flight departments and 135s and flight schools. So all the guys that are sitting stagnant at flight schools, my prediction is that there's a little bit of a lag effect there. So I see that, we are about to start hiring a ton, I think beginning as early as next month, maybe even in the next couple weeks, and then on into next year. So how long does that lag effect take to get down from the legacies to the regionals to the flight schools? I say probably 9 months-ish, plus or minus. So, it might not look obvious, but if you're flight instructing or you're building time, you're in the right place. Things are going to be looking up. Progressions are going to speed up. This lull that we've been in since 2023 as sort of a quasi result of the blowout and the mechanic strike is about to start alleviating itself, and it is really going to help the ecosystem. It's going to help people get jobs. Things are going to be looking up. So this is it. This is my prediction. It's going to happen. It's starting right now. You just don't see it quite yet. But I'll be back in the office doing some interviews starting next month. Again, I haven't done interviews since January because we just have been on a restricted fleet, and there hasn't been a ton of interviews. But that being said, things are happening, things are looking up, and I am super excited and optimistic as to what the end of this year and the next 2 years look like for the industry. And I think that people that have found themselves a bit stagnant are about to finally be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel and get some forward movement and progression throughout wherever they are. So apologies once again for the informal setting, but I know it's been a long time since I've put a video out there. There just really hasn't been much to talk about, but I'll try to make this a normal thing here in the future. Thanks for watching all the way through. If you made it this far, it means you're probably really heavily invested in your future in aviation, and I appreciate that. And maybe one day we, in some way, shape, or form, will get to fly together. If you want to keep up with this type of information, I'll try to make this a more routine thing. If you really like it and you want more updates as I see them coming out and am able to give you something that's worth knowing, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That way you get a notification whenever I do put out a video like this. So hope it worked out. I hope you got something valuable from this. Please feel free to share it, send it to your friends. If you know some people that are maybe looking to get into aviation, just say, hey, this is the time you want to get in right now. There's about to be a massive wave, and whether it's the wave of getting into flight school, getting into a regional, or getting to a legacy, catch the ride on the front of this wave, and you will see multiple years progression above all your peers that have maybe been sitting and got in at the wrong time. So this is it. This is the time. Get those applications in, get those resumes updated if you're a regional guy or you're trying to get to a regional or some type of air carrier operator. Do your due diligence, take your time, get your applications reviewed, get your resumes reviewed, and make sure everything is spotless and perfect. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. I will answer what I can. Maybe we need to sit down and just have a conversation to discuss your situation a little more specifically. But, being on the interview team in my airline, I can't do everything. I can't answer every question. I do have to carry a bit of integrity with my job, but I'd be more than happy to talk with anybody that might have questions or just need some help or guidance. So that being said, I'm about to head to dinner, gonna get some dinner here in Sao Paulo, and then start our 9.5-hour flight back home to Dulles tomorrow. Well, actually, take off tonight, land tomorrow morning. So, all right, that's it. Thanks for following along. Wish you all safe travels. Fly safe, be smart, do what you do best, and keep chasing those tailwinds.